So we in assignment B. Submission is in week 7 on the 22nd. That's next week Friday. Saturday morning, right and early. We are on number 9, which of course is a different section in coordinate geometry, is more or less application thereof. Okay, so number 9 to number 12 is more or less application questions of coordinate geometry.
Okay.
So what I did now, I created a template using the further explanations, using the explanation, sorry, with number 9. And here it is. A tank is being filled with water. The volume of water, V liters in the tank, after 10 minutes is given by the linear equation. So once we have a linear equation, we're talking about y is equal to mx plus c. But here now, y will be v for volume, and x will be t for time in minutes. So y, you can see the y is equal to mx plus t plus c. V is equal to 1.5 t plus 5.5. Okay, so just by looking at this equation there, v is equal to 1.5 t plus 5.5. Can anybody identify the gradient and the y-intercept?
Yes, sir.
So what is the gradient?
The gradient is 1.5.
Gradient is 1.5.
T. And C is 5.5.
And the y-intercept
is 5.5.
is 5.5, okay? And you have 4 questions with regards to number 9. Then you have notes from the booklet explaining to you how to solve a question like that. You can look through it, but then it's always worthwhile to have your own example similar to the assignment. That's what we're going to use. But before we go to it now, we need to get a definition of gradient. We need to establish what does gradient mean. I think I gave a definition before, so let's go over it again.
Okay. All right.
It's the rate. Okay, the rate now is actually like a ratio, like a value. It's a rate at which the rate now is a value, is a number.
Mm-hmm.
The rate at which the y value, all right, which is the dependent variable, varies with a unit. A unit means 1.
Okay.
Increase in the x. X values. The x values now is the independent variable. Okay, so therefore now, therefore, a gradient of, let's say, 12.4 means that
don't let me on guitar for me.
a gradient of 12.5 means that, can anybody tell me when the what? Can anybody help me to continue?
Yes.
A gradient of 12.5 means what?
An increase of 12 on the x-axis, 12.4 on the y-axis. Y value.
Let me add something there based on what you say, with respect to.
Okay.
Okay, so means that when the, I said when the, how can you continue? When the what?
Right.
Or how you rather say?
Close the thing by force.
And let's say a gradient of 12.4 means
Okay,
an
so
increase in
means
the
an
means an
increase.
increase by 12.4
An increase
on the
by
y
12.4
axis.
on the y axis. That's all. Pay attention to that clause there, with respect
With
to an increase.
respect.
With respect to a unit increase in the x-axis. This is very important there.
Okay.
Or you need to continue, you need to complete.
With an increase of, I don't know, the same 12.12 on 12.4 on the x-axis.
What does that
No,
say?
one, you need to say one, well.
Right. So
One,
therefore,
yeah.
a gradient of 12.4 means that an increase by 12.4 on the y-axis.
With an increase of 1 unit on the x-axis.
With an increase of 1 unit on the x-axis. In other words, because there are different ways of phrasing it. In other words, comma, when the what? When the x increases by what?
12.4.
When the
x is 1.
When the x increases by 1.
X increases by 1.
The
That's true.
The y.
The value of the y-axis increases by 12.4.
Nice.
The y increases by 12.4. Therefore, a gradient of -10 means, anybody else or the same person, means that?
A decrease.
Means that
The gradient means that there's a decrease by 10 on the y-axis.
An estimate, yeah.
With a decrease of 1 unit on the x-axis.
Right.
So now that's why I need your input so I can modify on the y-axis with what you said, with
a decrease.
With a decrease, okay.
With
respect to a unit increase.
But remember, if it's negative, it's going negative. It's going negative. So the further it goes negative, that doesn't mean it's increasing on the x-axis.
So did you see what I write there? Did you see what I write there?
Increase always.
Always increase. When you see you analyze,
okay.
You always have to use the word increase when you analyze, when you're talking about the x now.
Okay.
Respect.
So hold on. So in the negative, so if it's from -2 to 3, you're gonna call it an increase, not a decrease.
Well, let's continue. We'll come back.
-2 to -3.
Let's continue.
Okay.
Let's continue this. We'll come back to that. Let's complete that. Therefore, a gradient of -10 means
with an increase.
With an increase.
A decrease by this.
Right.
And an increase of what?
Yep. Yeah.
1 unit.
Always 1
positive,
unit.
Thanks, sir.
X.
1 unit on the x-axis.
So, in other words.
Okay, all right. Okay. What's the F5
when the what?
Okay. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
When
oh
the,
yeah. I
In
heard of it. I
other
heard of it.
words,
Yeah, yeah. I heard of it.
when the x
when
decreases
Yeah.
by one,
when
Yeah.
the
Thanks,
X
thanks
what?
a lot. Thanks a lot. Positive. Yeah, we're keeping fast.
decreases,
With respect to one,
decreases, negative, yeah.
let's go back up there. Let's go
Oh,
back
when
up
the,
there.
when the, when the x increases, x am I have the over,
Right. X
something you mentioned.
respect to an
When
always
the x
increase.
increases, the y decreases.
Right. Always increase. When
Nothing
you're talking about
mentioned.
the X, always an increase. In other words,